This episode of Bourbon on Ice, presented by your friend Frosty and your bartender Mike Whiskey, is brought to you by the Cape Media Center of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The views and opinions expressed during this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the Cape Media Center. Listener discretion is advised. We didn't plan this out very well, did we?
I have that stupid song stuck in my head.
Which one?
The whiskey one.
Oh. This is a good one to have stuck in your head, though.
It is. Let's start the show.
Let's do it.
Coming up on this episode of Bourbon on Ice.
I, Dungeon Master Whiskey, educate you in all the ways of Dungeons and Dragons.
I drink heavily and pretend I understood a thing.
And I sing a stirring madrigal to inspire us with courage.
Oh, please don't. This is Bourbon on Ice with your friend Frosty.
And your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
Stay tuned.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, goodness gracious me. Welcome to Bourbon on Ice, everybody.
With your friend Frosty.
And your bartender, Mike Whiskey. He's over there.
Yeah, and we mix that up.
We do that a lot.
It's all right, though.
It's okay, because today is going to be a very mixed-up episode. I'm actually going to have to sit and listen for once.
I know, it's shocking. He doesn't do that very well. We'll see how long he...
Okay. I have to talk. I haven't spoken in like 10 seconds and it was getting to me.
See what I mean, folks?
I can relax. I can let someone else educate me.
We'll see.
Wipe that grin off your face. Oh my gosh, wipe that grin off your face.
So today, folks, we are talking about Dungeons and Dragons. We promised it was going to get weirder last week, and
we're delivering.
Here we are.
I'm just going to say this right now. There are many types of nerd in the world. There's uber nerd, there's smart nerd, there's book nerds, there's nerdlings. And then there are tabletop RPG nerds, and they are a class of their own.
It's almost like the epitome. It's probably not quite. There's probably a few higher tiers of nerddom.
Video game nerds.
Debatable.
I will fight you.
That's fine. Bring it outside. We can do this. We can throw down.
When's the last time you fought anyone without rolling a dice? I will say that for years, I was watching all of my friends play their games and mocking them. And then one day, Stranger Things, that amazing Netflix series, came along and it offered a little more perspective into how the game is played. After that, I found out, hey, celebrities actually play Dungeons and Dragons. There are groups, there are apps, there's all sorts of things.
Supermodels.
No.
Supermodels play D&D.
No.
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know.
I will say that I have a lot of friends in gaming groups, and, approaching them and asking if they could show me a little Dungeons and Dragons, that's like talking to Dave Grohl and saying, hey, you play the guitar, right?
Don't be like that. Most of us are happy to induct newbies into the hobby.
And induct, they did. Since that time, a fateful day in, August?
Yeah, it was about August.
So a fateful day in August, we gathered at Darkwater Games down in Mashpee, and we decided, hey, let's destroy Frosty's sanity.
So we were running I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Who was running the campaign?
That would be my friend Zanita. They were there with their boyfriend, and my friend Brendan was there.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember now. Well, Zanita picked an absolute classic of a campaign to bring someone not exactly the best for newbies, but it is a classic adventure from ye olden days of 1980-something, The Curse of Strahd. For those of you who are in the know, The Curse of Strahd is an excellent campaign. Vampires and grim dark horror and wonderful, wonderful curses and werewolves and other sorts of nasties.
I'm just going to say right now, I had no idea what I was getting into.
Not a clue.
My first question was, okay, so how do we win?
There's definitely a few answers for that. You don't win Dungeons and Dragons per se. You can definitely win.
You were talking to someone who grew up with Nintendo. My first system was an Atari. The whole point is shoot things, and if they die, they were bad. Go from the left side of the screen to the right, pick up anything on the ground and eat it. And when you hear the music and see the credits roll, it means the game is over and you won. This is not like that.
Well, aside from the pick up everything you can find and eat it, they share that part in common.
Oh no, Bobo assured me that there's poisoned food, and if you eat that, it actually is bad.
Yeah, but you still eat it anyway because you have to.
Whiskey came over to my house, and I had just gotten the starter pack, and he helped me create my first character.
Great time.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Nope, but we guided you through that process, and it was mostly painless.
Chowser Rockhopper, interdimensional pig farmer. I'm not even gonna read it. I've got the sheet right next to me, but there was a lot of dice rolling and whatnot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say something, and you're gonna correct me because I'm gonna say it wrong.
Okay.
To create a Dungeons & Dragons character, you pick one out of a box. They are easy and straightforward, and you don't need to roll dice or do math at all.
Well, that's from the starter pack. It gives you pre-made characters to work with and it's a starter pack. It's very newbie friendly. It adds exactly as advertised. Frosty had other ideas. Frosty we've mentioned...
Frosty had no ideas.
Oh, no, Frosty had lots of ideas.
They were stupid.
They were entertaining.
Well, it's just, you gloss over that.
So, we made up some characters of his own.
How does one create a D&D character, and what is the point?
I mean, what is the point? We play the game.
Can't you just move them like pieces?
Yeah, you can totally do that. In fact, 4th edition was entirely based off the concept of moving the pieces on the board. It was built 4th edition, and before you guys boo and hiss and... Exactly. Fourth edition is good. It has its merits and good things about it.
I have no feelings on this either way.
I know you don't. But I'm saying for people who may. 4th edition is good and it has its merits. However, it's definitely built to play like an MMO, and you have to keep that in mind. So in answer to your question, Frosty, the process of making a character is simple and complex at the same time. There are multiple ways to do it. My preferred method is the point-buy system, but probably the most fun way of making characters is with dice rolling.
I think I have some of those.
Yeah. Well, we rolled dice for your first characters, and what you do is you roll 4 d6s. We used the 4d6 method, like that. We used 4 d6s, rolled them, and dropped the lowest score.
I dropped the entire bag of dice.
Yes.
Did that count?
No.
Okay, then.
Well, we do that 6 times, roll the 4d6, drop the lowest number, and we come up with ability scores, usually in the range of 8 to 16. Although sometimes you can get an 18. 18's very good. You want high numbers. And then you allocate those ability scores, and then you go ahead and choose your race and your class.
Just going to ask it right now. Is there actually some sort of benefit? Like, is there one superior race in D&D out of all of them? Is there something you really want to be, or does it not really matter?
So any min-maxers out there will say variant human is the superior race. However, for those of us who like roleplay and other aspects of the game, choose whatever race fits the idea for your character the best. If you've got a elf in mind, then choose an elf. If you've got a halfling in mind, choose a halfling. But variant human is definitely the best. You get a free feat.
You get a free what now?
Feat.
As in?
F-E-A-T.
Okay, I was going to say, that sounds weird. I know this is a game about magic, but someone carrying around an extra set of legs, that's a little odd.
It is a little odd, but that's not what happens.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Feats are a different thing entirely.
Once you've made a character and given him all of his magical spells and armor and stuff like that, can you come up with any sort of story around these guys?
Oh yeah, you always come up. You're encouraged to come up with a backstory. That usually you want to talk to your DM and...
That's you.
Yeah, that is me. You want to talk to your DM about the campaign that you're running and try to fit your backstory. What was your character doing before? Did they have any special quirks, personality traits. I made a kobold character. Saw it on Reddit. My flaws. I'm a kobold.
I'm just gonna nod.
Yeah.
I'm so just gonna nod.
And I really botched that joke. Kobolds are little dog-like reptiles. And
Yes.
I can do a little kobold voice.
Please do.
Yike!
Okay, this is why I brought this.
No! Don't eat that! Kobold Union, worker rights.
I'm gonna... Are you trying to make me spray all over the soundboard?
Yes! Steve, command you!
Why?
Okay. Steve is a recurring character in all my campaigns. He's a kobold. My kobold's name is Steve.
They can have names like Steve.
Yes, they can. Most don't. Most have names like Grizix or Zazu or Klakto, Moog.
I'm looking at the ones that you and I have created. There's Chowser, Rockhopper, Dooley the Woolly. That was really fun to create. Blinn Dazabat, Tooth Mare.
This is what I meant by when I said he had lots of ideas, and they're all entertaining.
And didn't I? I created a beautiful. No, she wasn't beautiful. A massive a troll or something.
She was a half-orc.
Half-orc. She's in here somewhere. I should find her at some point. There's a lot. Meadow Glimmer, a refined, dainty, feminine 9'10" orc.
Yep.
All right, now we've created characters. Now I'm assuming they all go into battle against each other, right? No. And for those of you listening, this is definitely D&D for dummies. I'm the dummy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we fight.
You fight together as a team.
What?
Yeah.
Go on.
You fight together as a team against the dungeon master.
But that's you.
That is me.
So you're the bad guy.
I am the bad guy.
Are you the bad guy or are you just like God?
I'm basically God.
Okay, objectivity understood. Continue.
Yeah. So, as Dungeon Master, I run all of the NPCs. That includes the bad guys.
You really are in control of everything.
I am in control of everything except what your characters do. That's what you're in control of.
And what do they do?
Whatever you say they do.
So, they just like jump onto the board and do something.
Anything.
Is there an objective?
Usually there is, and that objective is usually defined by the campaign that you're running. So in the Curse of Strahd, the objective is to defeat the Vampire Lord Strahd. Spoiler alert, I know, crazy.
Well, his name kind of is right in the title.
I know, right?
It's like how that movie Encanto is about an Encanto.
Yeah.
Or there's this other movie, Aliens. There's aliens in it.
You don't say.
No, really.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, it's not called Sigourney Weaver kicks ass in space. It's called Aliens.
Yeah. Although that would be an appropriate title.
Also, Bill Paxton totally melts down. That would be a really good subtitle for that. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, we'll get to game overs in D&D in a little bit. But no, there's lots of objectives in D&D, and some of those are defined by your character's backstory. So what you wrote for your character can come into play later on in the campaign.
I introduce you all to Meadow Glimmer. Most people hear the beautiful singing voice of Meadow Glimmer floating on the breeze before they see her, or hear her lyrical poetry coming from over the ridge before she lumbers into view. At which point, most of them run screaming in the opposite direction at what they believe is fear for their lives. The truth is they are completely off the mark. Meadow Glimmer is an orc who cast a spell on herself in an attempt to make her the most feared and violent creature in the valley, but it backfired and gifted her with intelligence, grace, refinement, and artistry. I feel okay with this so far.
See what I mean by entertaining? These are gold.
I had more fun writing this than I did making the creature, and now I'm afraid of what to do.
What do you mean when you're afraid of what to do?
Well, she's got to go into a game now, right?
Well, she doesn't have to. But if you would like to bring her into a game, there's plenty of games that you could bring her into.
What? Okay, so I've created my my dainty 9'10" monstrous woman.
Yep.
And I set her loose within this. I have a book right here next to all this dice.
That is the player's handbook. That is a rule book. That's that's the rule book we use to make this character.
I'm opening to a random page.
And it is a random page indeed. You've opened up to the ranger.
Ranger archetypes.
Yep.
I don't know what this means.
Yeah. The Ranger is one of the classes, the class that you did not pick for Meadow Glimmer. I think you may have chosen Bard.
Oh, look, there's an owl.
Yeah, that is in the same page you opened up to.
I think there's a spider in here.
There are lots of spiders.
Ah! Sorry, I don't like spiders.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't. That's okay. I'll put plenty of them in there for you.
You suck.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I take my blind elf, my 9'10" pretty orc, my turban wearing merman, and my very angry sheep hating hobbit, and I insert them into a game. What do I do with them?
Not hobbit. We can't say hobbit.
Really?
Yeah, really. That's copyright by the token estate.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
Oh, I just learned something.
Yeah.
You'd think I would know this. My dad had a Cimmerillion in his house. Did I even say that right?
I can't say it, so obviously, yes.
Okay, so you just put them onto one of those giant boards and you just start a game.
No, you're actually going to pick one of your characters, and then we're going to get 3, 4, 5, 6 of our buddies. About the max that I would ever want to run all at once is probably about 8 people. That's a lot. But we get our buddies together, and they all have their characters, and we're going to play in an elaborate...
You, basically, as you said, you have these 6 people sitting around a table.
Yep.
Is everyone forced to wear a silly outfit?
No, you don't have to wear a silly outfit at all, unless you'd like to.
But
I will point and laugh at you.
So, it would be completely not out of place for me to show up wearing like a purple starred wizard hat.
Nope.
Dude.
You can even have the big gray beard.
I think that might be a copyright infringement too.
Nah.
I think that somewhere a Harry Potter fan might burst through the window dressed as Severus Snape and try and curse me.
The chance of that is very low, but it's never 0.
This is Cape Cod. There's nerds everywhere. It's pretty high.
Yeah, it is actually.
So you're sitting at a game. Every single game is out of a book. What, like one of those ones over there?
Yeah.
And like the straw one?
Strahd?
Strahd one.
Yeah.
That one's about vampires. Is there, like, say, one about okay, I'm just going to pick a word. Dragons?
There's plenty about dragons. There's the tier... Okay, so 5th edition actually has the Tyranny of Dragons campaign.
What did they ever do to us?
Well, they burn our crops, poison our water, and... That's an old SpongeBob joke.
Continue.
There's plenty more dating back to the late 80s when it's named Dungeons and Dragons. There's plenty of dungeons and plenty of dragons to be had.
In retrospect, I feel stupid for asking that question.
Yeah. Anyway, there can be as many settings are a different term in Dungeons and Dragons. There can be as many campaigns as stars in the sky. I mean, people are literally coming up with their own stuff. It's called homebrew.
Online, just the other day, I saw an ad for a Christmas-themed one, a Christmas Carol-themed one. So this stuff is real?
This stuff is real. People make their own versions of the Christmas Carol and other Christmas-themed... It's usually one-shots if you're going to have a holiday theme.
And what? You can just create random characters and put them in these scenarios and then go off and...
A very popular one for Christmas is either you fight Santa Claus...
Oh my... What?
Or you save Santa Claus from Krampus. Those are popular themes.
First of all, it's Krampus. And he has an army of evil toys.
Yes. Either way, you're saving or destroying Christmas.
I like those options.
Yes.
How do you win? Like, when do you stop? I'm assuming that, like, after an hour, it's all over?
D&D never stops.
No. I literally just agreed to play a game with someone. What am I getting into?
Oh, you'll find out. It's a lifestyle.
The last game we played was in June, and I figured that was over, but then, like, we all had to go home, and I said, oh, so that's it. And everyone started laughing. Now I know why.
Yeah. So usually people get together for 3 or 4 hours, sometimes 6. I've had one session. You put quotes around that session. Me and a few buddies of mine got together. We played D&D. We had a big, hearty breakfast that we made, and we played D&D until lunch, where we went out and got food at a restaurant, came back, played D&D, made dinner, and then played D&D until like 1 o'clock in the morning. We all went to bed, came back in the morning, had a nice big breakfast again, played D&D for 3 days.
And by the end of it, did any of you maintain your friendships?
We all hated each other by the end of those 3 days. In character and out of character, we hated each other. We were sick of each other. It was awesome.
The Cape Media Center, located in Dennisport, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, is a non-profit community media center and the public access TV station for the towns of Barnstable, Yarmouth, Dennis, Harwich, and Chatham. Our mission is to build community through media, enhance democratic communication, and facilitate free expression by providing these towns with a state-of-the-art media resource center. Members can become trained in our video and audio equipment and produce their own media content. Membership includes training classes, access to our field equipment, studios and facility, as well as airtime. Podcasters and music producers can share their content on our website. For more information, visit capemedia.org.
Dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 da. I'm trying to come up with epic D&D music.
No, you're not a bard.
I could, like, go get an instrument. I'm sure there's one lying around this building somewhere.
You never chose the bard class when you were making your human character creation, so don't try it.
I have a very angry halfling.
Angry at the sheep. But before we left for the break, you had asked, how do you win D&D? And I think that's a very important question to ask.
I think it's important because if I'm ever going to end a game, I need to know.
Well, games can go on for weeks, for months, or for years. Yes, there are games that go on for literal years.
Years.
Wow. The real D&D was the friends we made along the way.
Cheeseball.
Oh, wicked cheesy. So there's two ways to really win D&D. The first way is by having fun. The second way is by completing the campaign, which, as aforementioned, it can be as short as a single session and 1 day. It can take weeks, it can take months, or it can take years. You gotta have a real strong friendships to go for years. But it's definitely doable, and it's so emotionally worth the payoff is just so worth it when that happens. That is how you win. It's a collaborative effort. It's collaborative storytelling.
According to the rather amazing people over at ScreenRant.com, keeping a Dungeons & Dragons campaign running for nearly 40 years is no crazy feat. It takes time, patience, and a lot of work. Oh yeah, I'm assuming. In 2021, Robert Wardhau's campaign will be running for 39 years, which makes it quite possibly the longest D&D campaign of all time.
How did he do it, man? That kind of creative energy?
I really hope I said that name right, because that sounds like a lot of time.
It is a lot of time. I've been making my own homebrew campaign. It's been about 6 months. And probably about 100 hours of just me writing things down. I haven't even started playing it yet with people.
This is 40 years. There could be children born in between this.
There probably were.
Probably named after the characters.
Probably not. But they probably brought the children into it.
Oh, yes, this is my character, Melinda the princess. She's going to sit out for 9 months now. We're going to have a dragon kidnap her, and she's going to sit in an impenetrable tower for exactly 9 months. And there's going to be a lot of moodiness and anger, and we'll have to send some ye old Grubhub drivers to drop her off some random snacks.
Yeah, the dragon. Oh my goodness.
Who does this? That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Who does that?
That's why I said earlier, like, tabletop RPG may be the epitome. There may be a few things above in terms of nerdiness, but tabletop definitely takes the cake. Oh.
How long have you ever played a D&D game?
How long?
Yeah, you're longer. Was the longest of 3 days?
Yeah, the longest single game was 3 days.
What on earth happened? I'm just gonna ask that.
A lot happened.
Give me the bullet points.
Bullet points.
Bang, bang, bang.
So, we were running the Descent into Avernus pre-made campaign from 5th edition.
Of course.
I was not the dungeon master at the time. I was a player. I was playing a paladin. We had basically investigated the bathhouse and explored the first dungeon to its entirety and gotten the magic cube in those 3 days, which doesn't sound like a lot now that I say it, but that was a...
You explored a bathhouse and found a magic cube. I'm totally on board with this.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm just gonna... Okay.
That was after 3 days.
I'm gonna need another drink.
Well, don't be drinking too much. We have our Whiskey Asks section.
Yes.
Coming up next.
Yes, we do. Okay, I just have like one or two more D&D questions that I think the audience is going to want to know.
Okay.
Okay, so we've gone over, winning and costumes and crazy stuff. What do you do in a campaign? I mean, like what's a turn?
Good question. A turn in combat can take anywhere from a minute to 30 minutes. Because you get people who go, I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to do this? No. What are you going to do next? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if I cast that spell? Should I go after that? That kind of seesawing back and forth on what you want to do can really eat up time. That's a turn in combat. A turn in dungeon exploration is everybody going, I want to explore this. I want to go explore that. I want to go explore this thing. I pull the lever. Oh no, why'd you do that? And the floor falls out.
What if people just don't agree, like in one turn? Like someone says, like, hey, push that button, and everyone says, don't push the button, and one person says, I'm going to push the button.
Then that's great character drama.
And it just happens?
Once you guys agree, and once someone says, like, to me directly, I push the button no matter what they say, then I say, okay.
So I'm starting to see how conceivably a game could last for 39 years.
Yeah.
That article came out last year, I should point out. If the game is continuing, now it is 40 years.
Rock on. More power to you. Good on you.
Is there like a boss you defeat? Is that the objective, or?
There are many bosses. It's like a video game. You're going to have mini bosses. You're going to have big bad evil guys. BBEG, as it's colloquially called.
What is that?
Big bad evil guy. BBEG.
A BBEG.
Yep, big bad evil guy. Basically the boss of the campaign, and once you defeat him, that's how you win.
Again, I come from the land of Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, and Atari games, also some Sega. Basically, you go from left to right, and then there's a giant glowing thing at the end of the level that you have to kill so you can continue walking to the right.
So the BBEG is the big glowing evil thing at the end of the level, so that beats the game for you. It's the final boss.
Also, if you hit it enough, it usually turns red, which indicates that it is dying.
That can happen sometimes.
Okay, I think I'm in the spell section. I'm trying to find like a bestiary or something.
You need the monster manual. That's a completely different book for a bestiary.
There's a monster manual?
Yes, there is. And it's not even complete. It only gives you like half the monsters.
There's a whole section in here on the god pantheon: Celtic, Greek, Egyptian, Norse. Wow.
And the custom one for the Forgotten Realms campaign setting, built by Ed Greenwood.
This is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I've created all these characters, but we have to really play another game or something.
We do need to play another game.
I guess the last question that I would have is, let's say that I am brand new at this. I'm just starting. What do I need to get into the game?
You need a friend who can run the game, and you need dice. That's it.
Hang on.
We have the dice, and we have me. We can start a game tonight.
We could start a game right here.
We could start a game right here.
Do we have to torture the audience that way?
No, we don't. Let's get to the next segment.
All right, then. I thought that was going to be very simple, but it was not.
No.
3 days, really?
3 days, really.
3 days. That's outstanding and also a little horrifying.
Almost 72 hours straight.
Let me just put these back in this jar that I have here. You got me these. These are awesome. They're stained with blood.
I'm glad you like them.
I carry dice in pretty much every jacket I have. There's like regular dice. It's not because I'm a D&D freak. It's because I'm a degenerate gambler.
We call you a diced goblin.
Is that what you people call me behind my back?
No.
I like it.
So, over the weekend, I asked a question on Twitter, on our Whiskey Asks segment.
And that is twitter.com/Whiskey Frosty.
So I had asked, what was the weirdest thing you've ever found in a parking lot? And some of you have delivered.
Some of you people, I want to live in your worlds. Some of you, I want you to stay out of mine. I do want to point out that this is going back. When Whiskey had his own show on the WKKL, he had the Ask Your Bartender segment.
Yep. And so this is sort of the reverse and spiritual successor of that.
I also really love this photo of you. You look so thoughtful. You're sitting there in your fingerless gloves and you're gazing off into the
Wistfully
distance.
thoughtfully off into the distance.
You look great. Okay, so the question was...
What was the strangest thing you've ever found in the parking lot?
Whiskey, what's the strangest thing you found in a parking lot?
It beats a lot of these ones, but not others. So the strangest thing I have ever found in a parking lot was in a shopping carriage, and it was a gallon jug of unidentified yellow liquid.
I have questions.
We're not going to answer the questions.
That doesn't change the fact they're still there.
Yeah, we're going to completely ignore those questions. Just like I did when I found that gallon jug. It was a milk jug too.
What?
That's just exactly it. There are no words for that. Is it apple juice? It's outside of a grocery store parking lot. It might be, but I'm not gonna check.
Now that sounds like a Dungeons and Dragons thing. You find a strange jug of viscous yellow liquid. Do you drink it?
The answer is always yes.
Your character is dead and has died of dysentery.
That happens a lot.
Yes, yes. Before anyone asks, that was an Oregon Trail reference. I grew up on that.
My brother asked this question. He didn't answer it on Twitter. My brother answered this question. Miggs. He answered with a 5-gallon bucket of squid guts.
Were you walking by the marina or something?
This was at the same grocery store where I found the gallon jug.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. In the middle of the summer, so it smelled
Oh.
bad. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think of how that smells.
No, it's not nice.
You could have, you neutralized one with the other, possibly.
No.
No, that would have had to have been destroyed by fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, with Frosty?
All right. I used to work for a hotel on South Street, and this was many, many years ago, but not that many. And the strangest thing I ever found when I was out sweeping the parking lot, I found a Zune.
Okay, what is a Zune?
Exactly. Everybody had an iPod. Everyone had a nice MP3 player.
Yeah.
No one on earth had a Zune. I don't know why this person had one, but I'm guessing that it was out in the parking lot, probably because they threw it out of a window. Or it was a very unsuccessful attempt by another company at taking over the personal music player world, and it did not go well. I never found out who. I brought it inside. I'm like, hey, this was in the parking lot, and everyone gathers around like,
What is
can
that?
we touch it? The summer went by, and it was still sitting in that lost and found.
Holy cow. Well, let's see what our listeners have to say about the strangest thing they've ever found.
I want to say also that we now have a Facebook page. Yay! It is Bourbon on Ice with your friend Frosty and Mike Whiskey.
Wonderful.
Also at whiskey.frosty on Facebook. And our first answer comes to us from a Mr. Bob Morrison. He wrote, a Connecticut handicap placard.
That's actually a good find.
It is.
You can use that.
Also, he
That's
lives in
useful.
Massachusetts.
That's not so surprising, because Connecticut people come down here every summer.
No, just think of the poor person who came from Connecticut and went all the way home without the placard.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. All right. Now we've got... hang on, sorry. I just got to move the monitor a little bit. Move things closer. And here we go. Okay. At Ace on Air replied to us with a used condom.
That's a low ball. That's a fun one to find. You find those everywhere.
And then we have...
Still doesn't make it nice.
No, it does not make it nice to find those.
No, it's not a fun day.
You usually don't want to find those.
No, you don't.
Especially if they've been used.
Yeah.
And then we have at the DJ Ponychan replied with, in a PetSmart parking lot, a hearse.
Man, that's a sad day, man.
Was it running?
Was it picking up a pet? That's a sad day, man.
Was it on its side? Was it burning? None of these make it any better. Like,
No.
outside of a PetSmart, a hearse.
That's a sad day, man.
That is a sad day. Oh, and at Sam Mello, it's the guitar man.
Oh,
Used condom.
they're everywhere, man.
It's an epidemic. People are gross.
Yeah. At least have the common decency to throw it in the trash can, man.
Then we have at Circus Kirkus.
Okay.
Not in a parking lot, but in my rental car in Florida. My wallet was on the center console and slid between the seat. I fished out my wallet and a Ziploc bag of crack.
Score! Bourbon on Ice does not condone the use of drugs.
No, we don't.
But that's a pretty awesome find.
I really want to contact him and ask, because I'm assuming there's an additional story to that.
There's gotta be, we gotta hear the follow-up to this one.
Seriously.
Did you turn it into the police?
Your fingerprints are on that thing now. I would burn that quickly.
Yeah.
I would put it back in the car and push the car over a ledge. Like, what bag of drugs, illicit drugs?
Actually, be careful about burning it because you might get some fumes.
See, I don't do that many drugs. I don't know the rules. And then we have at Laughing Druid, and he gave us a twofer.
Okay.
The first one was he found one of those clothing donation bins. That in itself wasn't strange. The entire velour sofa sectional set neatly arranged around the bin was.
So you mean to tell me they donated an entire velour sectional sofa?
And used it to wrap a clothing donation bin.
Where? I need a new sofa.
And he also gave us this one. My last landlord, so this is at Laughing Druid, his landlord, found one of those.
This is a friend from a friend.
A friend of a friend.
Okay.
He found a pre-lit Christmas tree, complete with those branches that fall down when it's tipped upright. He brought it home and offered it to the Laughing Druid. They opened the box in the parking lot because they didn't know if a wild animal had made their home inside it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would kind of be my fear.
That one takes the cake, man. I got a Christmas tree in the parking lot. You win. You win this one.
And it's pre-lit.
Rock on. Plug and go.
I think the only thing better would be if that was definitely out of season.
Yeah.
Like, Happy June, miss everyone.
Oh, that's great. All right, Wiedemann Wheat Boys, Full House.
Not so fast, buddy. 5 2s.
Whoa, looks like I lose. Except for this.
No, not the wild draw 4. You haven't won yet. I summon Magic Stone Soldier in defense position.
Damn it, I roll. Ha! A 6 and a skull and crossbones. Take that.
My turn to throw the marbles.
Not if I activate my Helm of Invisible Destruction.
Yahtzee!
Colonel Mustard in the library with the revolver.
Okay, seriously, do either of us know how to play poker?
No, but I think we'd do pretty well at Calvin Ball.
And we're back.
Ugh.
I have a huge level of enthusiasm. You yawn.
I'm so sorry.
Why?
It was just there. We had bad timing.
Okay, so we talked D&D.
We talked D&D. We did our Whiskey Asks.
Oh, we have something else to tell you all, but first...
Something first?
Yes, a first. It's about Ask Whiskey.
Oh.
That wasn't the end of it. There'll be more.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Every Friday after the show is posted, you can find the link on our Twitter page. Again, that's at Whiskey Frosty. We will be posting on Buzzsprout. We post every Friday morning.
Yep.
I'm running around in circles here, but there will be a new question.
There's a new question, and your answers will be featured.
It'll be horrifying and weird.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was a good question.
It was a good question. It was a really good
first
question. It was a good question.
Nice icebreaker.
It was. Yeah, speaking of ice and parking lots, I'm on crutches right now. I should tell the audience this. Yeah, black ice.
In parking lots. It gets you every time, man.
It did this time.
Yeah. Well, I just said every time.
I hate nature. It should stay outside, and we should stay inside, away from said nature. Actually, we do have something to announce to everybody.
We have a very awesome thing to announce.
Our podcast already has over 50 downloads.
We've hit our first big milestone.
And we owe it all to you.
We do. We'd really like to thank you guys for listening. It means a lot to both of us.
I'm getting very misty right now.
He is getting very misty.
Go, Togepi! Okay, that was a really meta nerd reference. I don't think anyone got that.
Not only that, it was just a bad joke.
All right, I will say thank you. I will say thank you to everybody for listening to us wax on.
And wax off.
Now that was the bad joke. We are not close to stopping anytime soon. We will continue to haunt the, I want to say airwaves, but...
It's the interwaves?
There, I like that. Yeah. Haunt the interwaves every single Friday.
Oh boy.
Your Fridays are not safe anymore.
No, definitely not. Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Speaking of...
That's an old meme.
Speaking of, a friend of ours has offered to sit in with us one day with his guitar.
Oh, I'm tickled pink to have Sam, the guitar man, back in the studio with us.
Oh, him too. Yeah. I meant another one.
Oh.
Steal Your Girly Hurley.
Oh my goodness, that's right. He's got his band.
Immuter.
Yeah.
They actually are veterans of the CMC. They recorded one of their music videos here, and I would encourage people to give them a listen at some point. They've got a really good sound.
They do.
But unfortunately for us, I think we do have to get going.
Yeah, we've almost run out of time for this one episode.
Have we?
Almost.
Do we have to?
Kinda.
All right, then. I guess there's nothing to do but close the show.
Yeah.
Well, then. Next week on Bourbon on Ice, we discuss the darker side of the most romantic holiday of the year.
We're gonna reveal our own personal Valentine's Day massacres.
And we apologize in advance because it's gonna be gross.
Yeah, I had some bad stories. Tune in next week to Bourbon on Ice and
have a cold one on us. Kisses.
And hugs.
This podcast was recorded at and produced by Cape Media Center on Cape Cod, Massachusetts by podcasting duo Mike Whiskey and your friend Frosty. All music and sound credits go to soundstripe.com. Special thanks to Jamie Horton, Emily Tulloch, Gabrielle Rawson. For more information on Bourbon on Ice, visit our social media page at twitter.com/whiskeyfrosty. For more information on Cape Media Center, visit capemedia.org. For more listening options and a variety of podcasting entertainment, visit our hosts at buzzsprout.com and capemediacenter.org.